Syngenta, world-leading agribusiness, innovative source of crop protection and seeds. During the tomato conference, experts from all over the world come to the Netherlands to share knowledge in all the aspects of the tomato. New ways of production and new tastes of the tomato are explored in a nice and comfortable setting.
We want really to link consumers to producers and to retailers somewhere by offering the right varieties with specific features in terms of taste, flavor and new experiences that the consumer could have. We want really to link the consumption side with the production part.
We came from a period where we had an eating culture. Many generations were connected, homegrown food, bargain rate, and people were connected. They knew where food were coming from, they knew what it did for their body, and eating was something you did together. In my opinion, you could say we focused in those 50 years very much on efficiency, and with that focus on efficiency, many people and many products lost the social context. And in a way you could say we are disconnected from these basics. And in my opinion, food has always been the natural connector. In all these generations, food was always the moment to connect people to each other, to connect people to nature, and to connect people to their own needs of their body. And my overall message is, yes, keep on focusing on all these individual trends, make products more tasteful, make it more convenient and so on, but also consider the more holistic approach. Let's give eating the place it deserves.
And I would like to introduce you to the new trendsetter, to the mindsetter who will influence trends in at least the coming 25 years. It is the cultural creative. They are coming from both groups, which makes it very, very interesting. And what they do is they combine modern science and old knowledge. The best from the past for a better future. The future of the tomato is in a tomato with a real, recognizable shape, which I can, when I come into the supermarket, I can recognize the tomato immediately, by color, by shape.
The message I want to bring you is that the assortment needs to make sense to consumers, and especially your target audience. You need to think more, and we need to think more about who we want to target and what kind of products would make sense for them. We are learning more and more about consumer understanding and also what different segments are eating, buying and preferring. So together with you, with all the players in the chain, we can develop offer that makes sense to consumers and also drive the diversification into the right direction.
We know that when you mix different umami compounds together, you get synergy. That is, the total sensation is more than the sum of the two individual components. So the umami character due to glutamate plus the umami character due to ribonucleotides, when you put them together, it's much more than the sum of those two, synergy.
During a workshop, guests can learn what composes the taste and flavors of fresh tomatoes and how you can influence it.
Who sees the 8 easily? I do. I see the 8. Who can see the 7 when they look at it? So, if you just do it in the order shown, X, Y, Z, yeah. and describe the flavour of each one. Yeah. Yeah?
Cinnamon that goes in the apple pie.
And it was in fact. So if you said cloves specifically, give yourself a 3 points. Okay?
And slowly we're starting to find individual components of tomato that allow us to breed for better quality. They allow us to identify, for example, a component that allows us to increase tomato flavour. And we can work with our breeders, we can work in our breeding programs to add those components in. And in other cases, we can work to take things away. And the challenge of being able to do that next is being able to deliver that product with the right set of information to the person that's going to eat it. So you actually have to understand which cluster you fit in. And I can't answer how we're going to deliver that today. All I can tell you is that this is knowledge, it's information that we can match to a product, and it's information we can supply as a breeding company to our customers, and they can use with their customers in the future.
A general remark, I've seen Brett's presentation, so what I notice is this: if you talk to scientists in general, an answer that you get quite often is, well, actually, yes, we had some very interesting findings, but the whole matter really is too complex, so I can't give you the whole answer. Well, chances are here that Britt is going to give us the whole answer. So, ladies and gentlemen, Britt Freeman.
So achieving a higher quality of life through diet, and particularly with tomatoes, and managing weight, reducing disease through targeting processes that lead to disease, foods that can provide the foundation for our youth as well as promote healthy aging. So finally, I'll end with plant foods provide a package of nutrients and bioactives with low energy, and tomatoes certainly are an important contributor of these bioactives with little energy. There's multiple health opportunities, and then there's an important need for increasing fruit and vegetables, and tomatoes are well positioned already because so much is consumed for easing the uptake.
So why do we think flavonoids are important? Well, the health benefits of flavonoids were identified as early as 1936 when a study on citrus showed two important compounds to affect platelet aggregation and circulation. There's a strong correlation between the intake of flavonoids in the diet and a decrease in cardiovascular disease, and also they have strong anti-carcinogenic effects. So if we take the skin of the tomato around the peel, we see that we have large levels of the different proteins which synthesize flavonoids, and therefore high flavonoid content in the peel. But if we look at the flesh of the tomato, we see that these proteins are absent, so the flavonoid content of the tomato flesh is low. So this allows us to look in different tomato cultivars to try and work out where we can make improvements in flavonoid content. So I hope that I've shown some of the way that we work at Syngenta in trying to dissect a trait and then to build that back up into our breeding program.
Another workshop gives inspiration in techniques and preparations of the different types of tomatoes.
First we start with tomato juice, which is in front of you. Everybody says tomato juice is red. It's white and clear as white wine. In front of you, you have 3 juices of tomato. On the right, you have the tomato juice.
You're right.
You're right.
You're right.
In the middle, you have the fusée, and on your left, you have the camel. So, very short. how does it work? How do you prepare a clear tomato juice? You puree all tomatoes in a kitchen machine. Then you get a kind of a pulp, like this. Yes? The pulp you put on a towel. Actually, it's better to use 2 towels. You fold it together. And then the juice white is coming out.
If you want to try, you can smell and drink, and you have a perception. If you don't smell it, the perception is going to be different. It's going to be sweeter. Okay, there is also another experience that I hope you can detect. It is du nez. You will realize that it is the right tomato for snacking, to eat raw. Because when you will eat it, you will realize that it is quite dry. So it means there is not water, and it is pleasant when you eat it. But when it is very interesting to think what we were discussing yesterday about the harmony. At the end, du nez, it is quite, let's say, well balanced, sweet and salty at the same time. The Parmesan is sweet and salty, and the vinegar, the balsamic vinegar, is sweet and salty. So this dish for us, it is the harmony of snacking. And you will experience especially the texture.
We are not only developing the menu, but also, I'm just going to touch later on, it's going to physically demonstrate in the supermarket store to directly communicate with consumers okay, this is a very fun to eat a different type of tomatoes. We are doing so-called cross-merchandising, working with other companies who are doing the vegetable, the perishable business, also some seasoning or other oil and all other food products which Kagome do not produce. So all the cross-merchandising effort is very effective, I feel now. And so, to promote and increase in more tomato consumptions, and we're very active in the cross-merchandising, as well as in the cooking instrument, doing some cooking instrument in tomato selling area is also the making an image to the consumers. A tomato is not only salad, but also cooking.
A press conference is held to inform media about the different issues that was talked about during the tomato conference.
What is happening is about, of course, but also to say that what is happening to agriculture, which is benefiting Syngenta, we believe it provides us some credibility for what we have been describing to you today about how can we transform the vegetables and the produce business as a whole. We are investing more than 16% of our sales in research. That's a lot of money. I have to negotiate that with my management every year, but that's a lot of money, 16%. We don't regret that, by the way, but it's a lot of money.
Andrei Yarmak from Ukraine, Fruit Inform. I'm interested in your vision of what you think would the main crops be in terms of growth potential on a global scale of production, of the products certainly where you focus. Yeah.
I think André can start to answer the question.
Or Jean-Louis, I'm sure that Jean-Louis could add that, but of course for us, I mean in our 5-year plan or 10 years plan, definitely Solanaceae, tomato and pepper is number one, and the second one are cucurbits. Within that you have melons, watermelons and cucumbers. Is that, Jean-Louis, the summary?
The growing crops are mainly the fruity crops. Tomato is leading the journey. We expect to have a growth more than 5% CAGR per year for tomato. And the key drivers are mainly the new traits being introduced in the...
My name is Gerard Bonenkamp of the magazine Groenten en Fruit. My question is, did you ever talk with kitchen designers? Because like this morning there was one presentation, I think about 80% of the consumers don't know that they don't have to put the tomatoes in the fridge. And you lose all the taste in one day which you put in for many years. So, and that's not because the consumers, they don't have a place to put in the kitchen.
We haven't talked to kitchen designers from the produce quality side, but can pass the microphone on to somebody else. One of the obvious targets of this, of course, is what can we do as a breeding company to breed a product that retains its flavour under refrigeration.
In a special improvement center, Syngenta has grown 56 different types of tomatoes. People can hear, see and taste the difference between the different races.
Well, welcome. This is Project Eco Futura. In this compartment we combine two growing processes. One is tomato, the other is fish. Why is this project happening? Well, consumers are more and more aware of what's happening in the production process. We have, on one hand, we have the horticulture with the greenhouses, which have closed water systems, a possibility of collecting irrigation water. And on the other hand, we have the fish industry, which has a problem with wastewater. But, well, that's the main reason. So we try to solve two problems. One, the irrigation water in the greenhouse, and second, the wastewater from the fish industry. The fish shit in the water, so you have minerals and nutrients in the water. But how do you get the rest, the bad things, how do you get it out and leave the good things in the water? That's a balance.
I think what we have seen with the more than 300 people that were here is that people got quite excited about the passion that we have been bringing to the stage. And I think that people start to see that just talking about a tomato is not something that you can do in 5 minutes. That tomato is something that has a passion for everyone, whether you're a grower, whether you're in the supply chain and shipping tomatoes, whether you're a retailer, or like in our case, if you are breeders. I think what we have brought to this stage today and yesterday is sharing this passion with people and showing the opportunities that we still have to improve the product of tomato.
I would like also to take the opportunity to thank all the participants to these important events and also to all the people that have contributed in organizing and making this event a success. Thanks for that.